welcome back to One Piece Anime Re-Review, Part 15. This is reviewing the longest filler arc of the series, G8. Roughly 11 episodes. Yep, covering episodes 196 to 206. Yep, this arc picks up exactly where in the anime left off with Skypiea, where the Straw Hats land in the middle of a marine base, basically G8. Now the first episode of this arc is quite interesting. The Straw Hats they actually disappear for most of the episode. This is the introduction episode to the characters we're seeing just this arc only, with the exception of Base Commander. Yeah, he actually comes back after this, surprisingly. He comes back in Marineford of all things. Yes. Well, I remember from when I was watching this originally that, oh yeah, the guy who's in charge of this place, Commander Jonathan, he comes back. Why in the world they put back a filler character for, I have no idea. This arc is an introduction to about a handful of filler characters who appear exclusive, with the exception of Commander Jonathan, exclusive to this arc. We have Lieutenant Commander Drake, a sergeant who's voiced by Todd Peppercorn. I can tell by his voice. Vice Admiral Jonathan's smoking hot wife, who also happens to be the head chef of Navarro, that's the name of the place, Jessica. And boy, oh boy, she is hot. And here's kind of the strange thing about this when it comes to her. She's a female chef, and she's wearing a long skirt. I don't know why the animators thought it'd be a good idea to put her in a long skirt. Is there something wrong with her wearing pants? Because here's kind of the thing. Female chefs have been seen wearing pants. Why in the world she's wearing a long skirt for is never explained. It's probably a Japanese thing. It's possible. But here in the U.S., professional female chefs can wear pants. They don't have to wear skirts. It's not mandatory at all. They can pretty much dress how other chefs dress. Yeah, but that's here in the U.S. In Japan, it's probably different. Yeah, basically, Jonathan figures that he actually goes on the Straw Hat ship, which was quickly abandoned. They actually do not show the ship being abandoned. It just, the ship basically is just empty. And oh yeah, apparently Sanji was smoking an ashtray, something he has never seen in the series, an ashtray. See some food on deck, and like they had just gotten there. Yeah, completely forgetting the fact that the Straw Hats did not do this at all. They didn't have food on the deck when they arrived here. No, they were just relaxing. There was no ashtray. This was probably planted here. Like, really? Luffy wasn't eating when the ship was coming down like this. Now, it is true that they were coming down on an octopus. Why in the world they have this setting like this for is kind of strange. It's a good thing this is a filler arc because, if anybody watched the series up until like Skypiea, and you start watching this without watching Skypiea, you're like, okay. If you skip like the last couple episodes and you come straight to this, you're like, wait. That stuff wasn't on the deck when they were coming down from Skypiea. Yeah, they added that there. Oh yeah, that John Hill was an archaeologist, there's a historian, a navigator, guessing mostly, and of course guessing that there's a doctor. Here's the thing, he doesn't meet Nami until like the very last episode of the arc. Yeah, the first person he meets is Luffy. Yep. Well, he sees anyways. And then we have a couple episodes focused on a couple of the Straw Hats helping come members of, let's say, actually about this 3 episodes focused on them. Now, Robin, of course, isn't seen doing a lot throughout most of this whole arc. What is Sheen doing? Well, first she's with Usopp hiding, of course, watching the place. And then she decides to pose as a marine inspector by knocking out the actual one by also stealing his coat, his name badge, and also his shirt. Yes, so coat, name badge, stole his gloves. Yes, she stole his gloves. She stole pretty much everything off except for his shirt and pants and his shoes. So, she used it to look around the base. And she has a mild contribution toward the end of the plot. Yeah, she does virtually nothing after taking a big part in the last arc. Zoro! First scene, just wandering around base, and he gets captured. And then put in the jail cell for several episodes. And for some strange reason, they decided to put his swords in the very next cell. That I thought was quite strange. Now, as for Usopp, well, first he seemed blind by himself, like trying to blend in by stealing a marine uniform and like basically just passing by, and just happened to find by sheer coincidence, just happened to find that going Mary talks to an old repairman he's basically kind of like the dockmaster. He's one in charge of the place, and like he mentions that the ship is well handled with the exception of the what happened to the mast, and then all of a sudden Lieutenant Commander Drake shows up to arrest Usopp for being suspicious. He's brought before Jonathan and can't tell who he is because it's classified, and he's thrown in a jail cell. He doesn't do much for a few episodes. Sanji and Luffy just wander on the place until they okay, we need disguise, so disguise as chefs. Not a bad idea because Sanji himself is a chef, and he goes in the kitchen. Yep, he blends it perfectly fine. And since Luffy is not good at cooking or cleaning, yeah, have me taste us, have me eat everything. Yep, and then they have a cooking contest who cook better. And it was like, oh yeah, we have cook this nice cool stuff, and just like, yeah, don't waste anything. And ends up cooking for over 100 sailors. Yep, very hungry sailors. Oh yeah, and also he falls for Jessica instantly. They're there for about a few episodes, and then they go, oh yeah, we need to go, and of course, and Sanji forgot like why they're still here, and the thing is, Luffy has a flame dial, basically just sort of bringing on the flames from an oven. Yes, they have an oven in this series, which is kind of strange, and like Luffy points out that it's actually your fault because you're in love with that woman. And then basically Sanji's like finds like, oh crap, okay, room 8. Like, well, what's the room 8? Yeah, her husband, who just happens to be the base commander. And that just shocks Sanji. Like, and then Luffy goes to bring the food to Jonathan, and he's like smiling. Of course, he eats the food along with it. Of course, she's first giving him food, and then brings him more food later because I'm trying something new. Yeah, it's like, hell yeah. Oh, you're Straw Hat Luffy. He's like, yep. Wait, how'd you get here? We came down from being an octopus. Yeah, Luffy is not good at lying, but what he says is true. They came down via an octopus, via the sky. Of course, they all suspect a freaking catapult. Yes, a catapult launching a ship 100 feet in the air to get into his base. Yeah, and here's the thing. The only person who notices the octopus is the repairman. Yep, a drunk repairman notices the octopus, but he doesn't remember it, surprisingly. They get a nice base here, and of course he runs that, and thanks to Sanji basically protecting him, he just drags him out, and of course they try and get into a fight, and then there's tape. And Sanji's like, he really wants to start fighting the cooks. But he's like, I don't want to hurt Jessica, because he has a chivalrous attitude, like he doesn't want to harm women. And then 100 hungry sailors come in, and they ever get away so easily. Chopper runs by the base briefly, goes to a storage room, and ends up with like hiding behind a box of antlers. The reason why the antlers are there, they say it's because they're needed to make medicine. Okay, not a bad thing to do. And then Chopper just hides in them. And he's brought to the infirmary because he doesn't know his infirmary. Like, oh, what's this place? Oh, it's an infirmary. Interesting. And there's only one doctor there. Because here's the thing. There was a group of flotilla ships that came in with a lot of injured people. And the only doctor there is a pediatrician. She has no idea how to handle injured sailors. Chopper notices this and like, time me a step in, so he just grabs a coat and puts on a fake disguise. I thought this was so funny. And then he tells her, say, prep these people for surgery, like, gives them all basic orders. Because he's a doctor. Because he wears the lab coat. Because, of course, they'll obey anybody who wears a freaking lab coat. And basically, kind of in a way, teaches the doctor there how to be a competent doctor. And she's able to survive several surgeries. So she's briefly... Look out, they're not in the middle of surgery when Lieutenant Drake, who's searching for them. Straw Hats. Like the suspicious doctor who came in here. And also, Nami plays a minor part in this. She's disguised herself as a janitor. That's where you're like, I need to find someone to disguise. And then she disguised herself as a nurse of all things. Yes, a nurse. Which I thought was so funny. A freaking nurse. And lucky enough, Chopper and Nami know each other. And of course, they're able to go through several surgeries. No problem at all. And Chopper's basically assisting her with all the surgeries. And she would survive all the surgeries with zero problem. Yeah, and this comes actually to help them a little bit later. And as in the case of what happens with... Oh yeah, and also when Usopp is captured, he's put in the same cell as Zoro and the actual inspector. But the thing is, Zoro's swords and Usopp's bag are put in another cell. Which I thought this was so bizarre to do. Don't these people have like a room they keep these stuff in? Nope, put in the next cell for some stupid reason. Yeah, apparently these cells don't have like a table for these people to sit at to play some cards. Nope, just a prison cell with sea stones. Yep. And how they break them out is quite hilarious. Like Sanji and Luffy get out and find them. Like, oh yeah, impact down. Of course, they find them recording out first and they come across a stink dial which Luffy made. And apparently this dial is good enough to cause an explosion in the dungeon while in the brig. Gives everybody to escape. Zoro gets his swords back, zero problem. Gives Usopp back his bag. And then they go run off. And they figure, okay, we need to get out of here. And they try to cross the bridge, which is trying to stop by Division 8055. Which apparently these guys do not bathe at all. Because apparently their stink goes right through the transponders now. Which I thought that was strange. Yeah. Yeah, and of course, don't engage. He's like, you sure you want to change orders? And Jonathan's like, yeah, I'm not going to change my orders at all. Because he really doesn't want to talk to them because they smell. Like, don't these guys ever bathe? Wow, and yeah, they try getting up on the Straw Hats because their plan is to slow them down. While they have their gold. Yeah, they confiscated their gold and some of their food too. Oh yeah, and it's also later revealed they also took their weapon, their cannon stuff as well, which I'm like, really? What are the cannon stuff for? I mean, I get the gold stuff, but the food and the cannons? Why the food? I have no idea. Yeah, eventually most everybody reunites. Except for Robin, of course, she's off doing her own thing. And of course, they have to figure out the guy because after they finish up the surgeries, they need to get out of there. So Chopper basically fixing a patient while Nami, of course, dressed as a nurse, chases through. And of course, luck of Usopp knows where the Going Merry is. So takes them all there, confronted by 100 soldiers. And then Luffy gets captured while they're fighting. And here comes Usopp getting hit by a gurney. And caught by Chopper, and of course the doctor briefly held hostage. Along with Nami posing hostage, of course Sanji's going freaking nuts, overseeing Nami and nurses out because of course he does, because he's in love with her. Yeah, Nami knows that Sanji's in love with her, and she'll basically use that to her whole advantage. It's her basically a character trait. Yeah, and then of course he poses a hostage, and then later on, thanks to her giving orders, she figured, yeah, she's not really hot. She's basically just a pirate. Yeah. And they get to go Marriott, no problem. They get out of the dock. Well, thanks to the old hair guy basically helping him out. Get the ship out of there, and of course they all hop on board without his daughter. Which, of course, yeah, he gets mad at the Drake basically for nearly causing her death. And, yeah, he's completely right. Because of Drake's sort of almost stupidity. He almost killed this guy's only daughter. And looking off this favor basically for protecting her and building up her confidence, he does repay the favor later on the arc. And like, okay, they got the ship back. Robin's here. Of course, she's not back on board. And they show on the map. It's like, okay, time to leave. But no gold. Yep, because they confiscated the gold. And they confiscated a bunch of other stuff. They had to turn around, and of course, thanks to Nami's direction, they had also blown a hole in the gate. And they figure out, okay, we need to look for the gold. Like, first, we're thinking this is his fault, and we need to get the waiver back, too, because Nami had the waiver. Yep, by the way, the waiver, here's the thing about the waiver. Like, after this arc, because it plays a minor part in this arc, like, because I know the first Gaia, that's when the wave first showed up, it shows up in Skypiea, shows up in the Falling arc, in this arc as well, and it also shows up in Ocean's Dream, but after that, it makes mild appearances. It mostly appears in filler stories. It occasionally makes appearances after this particular arc, but the waiver is not something that the Straw Hats tend to use very much over the course of the series. As a matter of fact, in the current like post time skip, I think they've used it once post time skip, and I think it was in Punk Hazard, and that was it. That's all they've used since then, was once in Punk Hazard. Yep. Of course, Nami gets her wheel back. Not much of a problem at all, because she hit it back early on, and they get it back, and they get back. Oh yeah, and when they hit the ship, they hit it in like some old abandoned dock, and disguised it as a marine warship, very poor looking one. So they look for it in the vault, but nope, it's not in this vault at all. Heck, even the inspector believed it was actually in the vault. Yeah, and the vault door nearly kills them in the process. Though they're able to get the gold back thanks to figure, oh yeah, it's actually in Jonathan's office because he's the fisherman. So Nami and Luffy ride all the way to the commander's office, break his door. Oh look, it's a gold right there in plain sight. Even the viewer can probably see it. And he takes back the gold, but lucky enough, Nami uses her climate attack to knock out the soldiers that are in Jonathan's office. They take back the gold. Of course, they had also briefly put Luffy in the sea stone net, but Nami gets him out of it. They get back to the ship and figure, okay, go to get, but the ship gets damaged. Okay, so how we got to use the octopus. Yes, the octopus having Usopp and his thing when they're on the bridge. Usopp got hit by he blocks a sword and he blocks an axe, so he builds a power and impact dial, and he used the flame dials to basically power up the octopus, which Luffy kept his pants the entire arc. Okay. Probably because we've seen probably at the start of their next arc. That's probably the reason why they have it here. That's my guess anyways. And they're able to get out of there, and also thanks to the small hole in the ship, though, they're able to, use the impact dial allow them to fly, and they get away no problem. And what does Jessica do? First, she gives a couple times, she sends food to Jonathan, like, okay, and she has one of her cooks stay until he eats everything. And of course, the sergeant eats food and drink, like, yeah, he's like, no, have a seat and try Jessica's food. Yeah, and also Jessica basically, when she finds out Sanji's a pirate, she's basically upset by it. And there were any recipes, but apparently the sailors love his recipes, so she just, okay, let's just use them, despite the fact that the guy was a pirate. And yeah, here's the thing, Jonathan is seen eating 3 times. Like, basically Jessica gives him food 3 times in the entire arc, twice in the span of about 3 episodes. The last time, basically, it's like outside his wrecked office. He is on a table, and he's eating. And even when the trials get away, the inspector, basically, who's an idiot, who tried to use his own bazooka to destroy the Straw Hat ship, failed, is like, yeah, I'm going to set down this base. And Jessica walks up to him and gives him a right hook to the face. Yep. Straw's like, I was going to do that too. And he's like, yeah, but he's going to shut down this place anyways, but don't worry, not the last see of Jonathan. Though I keep wondering, though, like, I'm surprised Usopp did suggest to the doctor, like, perhaps you could check Jessica if she can have kids. Because I'm sure that's probably another way that Jonathan can make Jessica happy. Because Jonathan is one lucky son of going to marry this smoking hot woman. And surprising, though, like, the thing about it is, not much is talked about when it comes to Jonathan. Like, aside from the fact he's married to Jessica, who's the head chef, he's the commander of the base, and he loves fishing. But that's all that's known about him. Oh, yeah, another thing, he's also a pretty competent commander. Yeah, he's very competent at his job. Unlike other Marine admirals in the series, where they're portrayed as very greedy and corrupt, this guy, no. He's a pretty decent person, which makes him one of the very few. He's probably the first person Smoker, who's one of the very few people in the series, aside from Smoker and Admiral Hina, who actually is depicted as a competent, not only very competent, but also a very, let's just say, by the book individual, and also is not crooked, or at least not say as evil and malicious as other Marines tend to be picked over the course of the series. Oh, he's a filler character, but other ones make this a lot worse than this guy is. Yeah, but not much else to say about this arc. It's really good. Okay, so that's it for Singular Review. I have 2 reviews I'm going to do. And both reviews are going to be Comic Corner. Next one's going to review of basically 2 trades reviewed digitally. Yep, to his next video. Bye.